You ever check your bank account and feel a weird mix of peace and pride instead of panic? That quiet moment when you realize you're not worried about the next bill. You're not checking your balance before buying coffee. You just feel safe. That moment right there. That's what financial freedom actually feels like. And what's wild? You don't need $1 million to feel it. You don't even need 6 figures. For most people, that feeling starts at $20,000. So today, I want to show you why hitting $20,000 might be the most important milestone in your financial journey. Not because it makes you rich, but because it finally gives you control. Let's be honest, most people think wealth is this distant, almost impossible goal. They picture luxury cars, beach houses, designer clothes, private jets. Like wealth only starts when your bank account has a comma in the 6-figure range. But that's just marketing. The real transformation, the part where money stops controlling you, starts way before that. And it begins with $20,000. That number might sound random, but it's not. It's the exact point where your brain shifts out of survival mode. Think of your financial life like pushing a giant rock up a hill. In the beginning, every inch feels impossible. You're working overtime, budgeting every dollar, sacrificing nights out, saying not now to everything fun. And the worst part? You barely see progress. But then, at some point, you reach the top. You've built momentum. And suddenly, that same rock that used to crush you starts rolling for you. That's what happens around the $20,000 mark. Before it, everything feels uphill. Exhausting, stressful, slow. After it, money starts working with you instead of against you. Now, here's where most people get it wrong. They think the difference is just math. That more money means more comfort. But the real change happens inside your mind. When you're broke, your brain lives in constant survival mode. Every decision is driven by fear. Can I afford rent? Should I skip dinner out? Can I cover this emergency if something breaks? That fear eats your focus. You can't think long-term when you're fighting short-term fires. It's like trying to plan your future while your house is burning. But when you have even a small cushion, that $20,000, your brain relaxes. You stop reacting. You start strategizing. You stop thinking, how do I survive? And start asking, how do I grow? And guess what? There's actual data behind this. A study from Vanguard found that people with just $2,000 in emergency savings already feel 21% more financially secure. Oh no, $2,000, that's it. Now imagine what happens when you multiply that safety net tenfold at $20,000. Your financial anxiety drops dramatically. You stop living paycheck to paycheck and your mind opens up to opportunity. Let's break it down with a real example. Say you're saving $1,000 per month and investing it at 8% annual growth. That first $20,000 takes roughly 19 months to build. About a year and a half of grind, discipline, and saying no to stuff you want. It's hard, no question. But here's the magic. The next $20,000? It doesn't take another 19 months, it takes just 17. Same savings, same effort, but less time. That's compound growth starting to flex its muscles. Your money is now helping you earn more money. By your third $20,000, it takes maybe 15 months, then 12, then 9. Soon your investments are doing more work than you are. That's when people say, money makes money. And the truth is, it really does once you get past that first climb. But the $20,000 milestone isn't just about returns, it's about identity. Because to reach that number, you have to become a completely different version of yourself. You have to learn discipline, patience, and control. You have to say no to short-term dopamine for long-term freedom. You have to learn to manage yourself, not just your money. That's what builds real wealth. Not luck, not timing, but consistency. By the time you've saved your first $20,000, you've already mastered the hardest part, self-control. Let me put it another way. If you can save $20,000, you can save $200,000 because it's not the number that changes, it's the mindset. Before you had that cushion, a $4 coffee felt like a decision. Afterward, you stop stressing about the small stuff because you've proven to yourself that you can handle the big stuff. You stop asking, can I afford this coffee? And start asking, is this aligned with my goals? That's a massive psychological upgrade. Another thing that shifts around this point, your relationship with opportunity. When you're broke, everything feels like a threat. Your car breaks down, that's a crisis. Your rent goes up, that's panic. You lose your job, that's devastation. But with $20,000 in savings, those same events become inconveniences. A broken car? Annoying but fixable. Rent hike? Manageable. Job loss? Stressful? Sure, but survivable. That's what freedom looks like. It's not about never facing problems, it's about having the ability to handle them without fear. And here's the best part. You start seeing opportunities that you used to miss. Before, when your friend mentioned starting a side business, you tuned out. Now you're thinking, wait, maybe I could invest. A great rental deal pops up online. Before, I can't afford it. Now, let's run the numbers. Your company offers an unpaid growth opportunity. Before, can't risk it. Now, it might be worth it. Money gives you options, and options create more money. That's the quiet secret behind every wealthy person. Not luck, not privilege, but choice. Now there's one more huge transformation that happens at $20,000. Career power. When you're living paycheck to paycheck, you're trapped. You can't leave a toxic job because you need next week's income. You can't take time off to interview because you can't afford a gap. You can't ask for a raise because you're scared of losing your job. That's what being financially cornered looks like. But once you've got even a modest cushion, you gain walking away money. You can walk into your boss's office, ask for a raise, and genuinely mean it. Because if they say no, you'll still be fine. And ironically, that's exactly when people start respecting you more. Confidence comes from independence, not arrogance, just calm control. You show up differently, you talk differently, you work differently. And that energy, it attracts more opportunities, promotions, clients, the works. Because confidence backed by security is magnetic. Now let's talk about the mistake almost everyone makes once they hit $20,000. They celebrate too soon. They buy a new car, they book a luxury vacation, they reward themselves for being disciplined. And that's where the cycle resets. Here's the truth. That $20,000 isn't the reward, it's the foundation. It's not the prize, it's the tool that builds the prize. If you let it compound instead of consume it, that same $20,000 could quietly turn into $150,000 over time. That's not a motivational quote, that's math. Let's put it into perspective. The average American spends $600 to $800 every month on car payments, gas, and maintenance. Over 40 years, that's $400,000 gone. So yeah, that new car smell, it's probably the scent of your retirement burning away. Because the moment you drive a new car off the lot, it loses about 20% of its value. That's money evaporating. But invest that same amount instead, and it compounds into life-changing wealth. The irony? The guy driving the old Honda is probably closer to financial freedom than the guy with the Tesla payment. Because the Honda driver isn't broke, he's strategic. See, once you hit $20,000, your financial decisions stop being emotional and start being mathematical. You stop asking, can I afford it? And start asking, what's the opportunity cost? That's when you begin thinking like an investor, not a consumer. And here's what's really fascinating. Once you think this way, you realize most of what you wanted wasn't actually what you wanted. You don't crave stuff anymore. You crave freedom. Freedom to say no. Freedom to take a break. Freedom to build something that's truly yours. That's what that $20,000 buys you. Peace, confidence, and choice. So no, $20,000 won't make you rich overnight. But it will change how you see the world and how the world sees you. It's not about the money itself. It's about who you become to earn it, save it, and protect it. Because if you can get to $20,000, you've already proven something way bigger. You've proven you can delay gratification, think long-term, and build systems that work. That's what separates people who stay stuck from people who build real wealth. So if you're on that journey right now, saving, investing, cutting back, trying to climb that first hill, don't give up, because once you reach that $20,000 milestone, everything changes. Your stress fades, your confidence grows, and for the first time, money finally starts working for you. And trust me, your future self will thank you for it.